Hi everyone, welcome back to another 3D web-worldz tutorial. I am Evie Marie and today we are going to talk about physics. First we're going to add an invisible barrier along the bottom of the sand dune in the ocean to keep your avatar from falling through the sand. Give us something to stand upon. And then we're going to also add two other objects to show you how the physics work. So if you've already clicked in world like I have, click escape to get your cursor and the edit tools button. It's a big green button to get into the specific tools. And in the second section, just like we added our sky, we'll pull down this pull down box and we're going to choose plane, add that to the region. We see the green wording that says green light go. And then we're also going to add two boxes. Once you've done that, reload the world. Now in this case of this region, because of where the landing point is set, a topic for another tutorial, we need to back up and we'll see that our new objects are floating in the sky. Yours might be under the sand, and you know what to do if you can't find them. You simply get into your building inspector with Control-Alt-I. And if they were missing, you could click them in this list to the left and they would highlight so you could move them to a better location. We're going to start with our plane. I'll move it out just a little bit so we can see it. Now if you notice, when I spin it around, there's no texture on this side. It's a one-sided plane. So if you were to add a texture to this, it would only be on one side. We're going to make it invisible, so that doesn't much matter. We need to make it flat, so we'll go over here and put -90. Now again, the building inspector is client side. These are tools to help you so that you can see it actually being built on your screen. No one in your region will see what you're doing, and the changes will not persist until you add them into your editing panel here in this white box. So we've made it flat and we've brought it down towards the sand. We need to up the scale. We're going to go with 300 by 300. Not very pretty as a big question mark. We probably need to lower it just a little bit more until we see the sand. Scrolling out so I can see the distance. That looks pretty good. You could make it larger if you wanted. And so now we go down to the section for edit items in this region. Click Edit Prim Shapes. You see the sky that we added in the first tutorial and our three new objects. Now you'll notice that the first one says New Plane, New Box, and New Box. We're working with the plane, so you want to choose 1523. In case you ever get confused, let's say you've got 10 boxes out there and which one do I want to edit, you can always look at the number here at the top. It'll have your texture short code and then this number which matches this number. You can also look here, although this one is a little bit hidden. So 1523 is what we want to edit. We change this to -3.5. That should be close enough. We'll leave it at 0, 0 because we just moved it out away from the box so we could see it. -90 on the rotation. And 300 and 300 for the scale. Now here is where it gets interesting. I'm not sure if I've shown you this or not, but you can actually move this box and you can also change the size. So if you need to edit it too, so that you can see all of your options. Now inside the texture area, we're going to make this invisible, so it doesn't really matter, but to help me, what I normally do is go into my texture library, and I already have it set open to the texture library and the icons folder for the common library, and I normally add this texture to it, and I'll show you why. Once we enter 430 or scroll down and choose it, I'm going to go ahead and say that so you can see the change. You'll see that our little marker is here, so you won't confuse it with other new prims that you haven't yet touched. So we're going to go back into the edit to show you how to make it physical. Or a better word would be solid. So we're going to change physics to solid and visible to hidden. And now once we save our changes and reload our world, the big question mark is gone. Get rid of that. Big question mark is gone, and if I hit my page down, or if you're right-handed, your E and C, you'll see that I'm still clicking the key if you can hear it, but we are stopped at the barrier. And we do not see our floor, so that works out very well for the situation. But what about if you were building a building from scratch, or say you wanted to set up some sort of desk or an area where someone was going to retrieve some information and you wanted that to also be solid? That's what we're going to do with these two boxes. So I'm going to enter my inspector, escape to get my cursor, click on the first box. I'm going to bring it down to the sand. And let's just make this 3 by 6 by 0.5. And we'll make it a scribble block, 6 by 6. Okay, so it's sitting on our sand. Bring it up just a little bit. Now let's go ahead and open up our edit tools. Edit assets, edit prim shapes. If you notice up here, we're on 1524, so we will edit this. And we're going to call this sample wall. We are at -0.5, and we changed our scale 6.5. We're going to change our physics to solid, and we're going to keep this visible because we want this to be a wall that someone sees. So imagine you were creating a floor and a couple of walls around that. You would want them to be solid to enclose the room. So let's add a texture just like we did with our sky. We can open up our texture library. If you don't already have it open, you can get it at the very top of this by clicking this button. I've already opened it to the Public Library Commons wall category, and one of my favorites is 413, so we'll use that today. Go back into our web-worldz. We're going to choose 413, scroll down or enter the number, and when we're ready, double check our changes. Everything looks good. Save my changes. I reload the world. I now have a wall. And if we did it right, as we move forward, the wall is going to stop us. So let's go ahead and do it with the other box as well. I'll move this down. Say you were creating some sort of reception area. Maybe 4 and 2. And maybe let's go with 2 here too. So this might be an area where you would have some items for someone to pick up or a welcome message, and we'll show you how to do those in later lessons. Let's go ahead now, and we are in our edit tool menu, number 1525, number 1525 over here in the left panel, and number 1525 in our edit prim panel. So we click edit. We copy our positions from this top row here. So we've got 0, -2. I'm going to round that up to 2.75. And we're going to put the Z at 4.5. And then we changed our scale to 4, 2, and 2. Once again, we'll make the physics solid. We'll keep it visible because we want people to see it. And, you know, just to show you a different feature, instead of choosing a texture, let's give it a color. We'll make it brown. Save our changes. Reload our world. And I did not adjust the y-axis. Oops. So we, mistake after mistake, we click in world, hit escape to get our cursor, Click the box, we bring that down, and you can see that the texture now has a brownish tint to it because we added the color, but it did have the default texture, so it did keep that color. Oh, I forgot the minus sign. There we go. It's minus 2.57 to 2.5. All right, and so now that you've seen how the colors can be added, let's go back here to our texture library, and we'll add 158. We still have the brown color attached to it. Save my changes and see if we did it right this time. And there it is. So the brown on top of that texture makes it look more red. And they both are solid. And that is how you turn on physics inside of 3D web-worldz as an invisible prem. If you need it inside of a wall, perhaps you've uploaded some mesh for your world, a real fancy house or a business office. And if you want to add some walls there, the invisible prem that we did in the beginning is how you would keep avatars from running through the rooms. We'll see you next time for another 3D web-worldz tutorial.